What are my thoughts about what?
Running for re-election in 2026.
That's
Did you hear the question, Senator? Running for re-election in 2026? All right, I'm sorry, you all. We're going to need a minute.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I gotta tell you guys, this footage that we're about to watch of Republican Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell having a full-blown brain malfunction once again is extremely disturbing. This is not something that I want to see. However, maybe, just maybe, seeing stuff like this happen is a wake-up call to Americans that our politicians are too damn old. And there's no way that we can have politicians in office whose brains literally malfunction when answering a very simple question like if they're thinking about running again when they're up for re-election, which apparently Mitch McConnell couldn't answer that question because something happened upstairs. Take a look.
Senator, you're up for election in 3 short years. What are your thoughts on it?
I'm sorry, I had a hard time hearing you.
That's okay. What are your thoughts on running for re-election in 2026?
What are my thoughts about what?
Running for re-election in 2026.
That's
Did you hear the question, Senator? Running for re-election in 2026? All right, I'm sorry, you all. We're going to need a minute. Senator. Danny.
okay.
Somebody else have a question? Please speak up.
What efforts is Daniel Cameron going to have to make on the campaign trails when Kentucky's over in November?
Senator Daniel Cameron, you have a comment on Daniel Cameron?
Well, I think the governor's race is going to be very close. Far and away the best candidate we could have nominated. And the state has become increasingly Republican. In fact, the governor's the only Democrat left, frankly. So I'm optimistic that Daniel will be our next governor.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. I mean, that's extremely embarrassing. I think it's time for Mitch McConnell to step down. Now, I'm not sure exactly what the procedure would be for replacing him out there in Kentucky, but he clearly does not have the capacity mentally to continue to serve. Okay, the guy's been falling all over the place. Okay, he showed up to work with a black eye one time. Again, this guy is just he just doesn't have the mental capabilities to continue to be a politician, let alone the leader of the Republican Party in the Senate. But again, maybe his ability to think and to function probably doesn't have much to do with his ability to raise money, right? I mean, that's why he's a minority leader in the Republican Party in the Senate, is because he can raise money. So I guess as long as he can raise money, Republicans don't give a damn, okay? Because if I'm a Republican in the Senate, you should be raising some concerns. You should say, look, we can't have this. We can't have somebody that's leading us that clearly is unaware of where he's at. I mean, this guy's in worse shape than Joe Biden, right? He's clearly in worse shape than Joe Biden.
I want to share with you my economic vision to grow our economy from the middle out and the bottom up, not the top down. Trickle-down economics is the belief that we should cut taxes for the wealthy and big corporations and expect it to trickle down to everyone else. That we should shrink public investment in roads, bridges, and water systems, airports, and public education. Well, when put into practice, trickle-down economics failed. It blew up the deficit, increased inequity, and weakened the infrastructure of America. And it made it harder for folks to get to the middle class That's until now. It's about growing the economy by strengthening the middle class and making things in America again. We must make the wealthy pay their fair share, not cut taxes for the wealthy. It's about folks who've been calling this Bidenomics, and it's working. Bidenomics has three main pillars: making smart investments in America, educating and empowering American workers, and promoting competition to lower costs for Americans and help small businesses thrive.
Yeah, so that is Joe Biden trying to explain Bidenomics like a first grader, right? Because they're trying to save face and they're trying to convince the American people that Biden is not too old, right? That he has not gone the way of Mitch McConnell and Dianne Feinstein quite yet. He still has a few brain cells left, even though he does have his moments where clearly he's malfunctioning, right? Just like Mitch McConnell, Dianne Feinstein, and all the other too old politicians that are in Congress and running this country. So with that being said, we got to go to Cringe John Pierre, okay, who's going to be asked point blank about poll numbers showing that Democrats and the GOP agree that Biden is too old, okay, but they're split on Trump in regards to whether or not Trump is too old. And she's going to respond to some of the criticism of Biden being too old, and I want to react to it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it.
I got it.
That's because all you got to do is watch
but
him.
77%, but 77% of adults are worried. That includes Democrats who presumably will vote for him. What did you make of it the other day when former Ambassador and Governor Nikki Haley said that President Biden is, I'm paraphrasing here, but something along the lines of, degrading before our eyes, and that ultimately Vice President Kamala Harris will be president in a second term?
Look,
Again, here's what I think. If the GOP wanted to seem more legit in their concerns about Biden's age, they should also be coming out here and talking about Mitch McConnell, right? They should be coming out and saying both, okay? All these guys are too old. That would make their concerns seem a lot more legitimate and less partisan. I'm just saying. There's nothing to lose by calling out Mitch McConnell for what he is, okay? That dude is, he shouldn't be in Congress, bro. There's no way. He has no clue what's going on.
again, I'm not going to respond directly to Nikki Haley. Not going to do that. Can't do that. Hatch Act. Got to be really mindful and careful here. What I can speak to is look at his record. Look what he has been able to do. We literally just talked about these 10 drugs and Medicare being able to negotiate with pharmaceutical companies, which is something that no other politician has been able to do. 33 years that they've been trying to do it. This president made it happen. This is a president again. And you asked me about Ukraine, right? You asked me about the supplemental funding. He has done something internationally, right, around the world, which is bring our allies and our partners together, especially what we saw after the last administration. This is a president that knows how to get the work done, who is focused on the American people. That's what I will speak to. I'll speak to his record, and his record stands alone, and it is something that Americans should be proud of, something that we all are proud of, on all of the historic amount of pieces of legislation.
Right, but I'm talking about his age.
Boy. How much does this woman get paid to do all this knob slobbing for Biden? Okay, I'm just saying, Biden didn't do any of that stuff. Okay, even if you want to give him credit for, he didn't do anything. Biden is on vacation a third of his presidency. Okay, no president has taken more vacations up until this point than Joe Biden. He's clearly not running anything. He's an empty suit. He's not running anything. I mean, everybody else around him might be running things, but he ain't running nothing, right? And nobody can convince me otherwise that this is the man that is actually running the Oval. He's not.
And his stamina and his ability to do the job. And you're talking about the record. And I understand why you'd rather talk about the record, but I'm talking about what Americans see when they turn on the TV and they see, you know, Joe Biden's been in politics since before you were born. Okay. And like that he's
let's talk,
aged.
Let's talk about this.
As we all do.
Let's talk about this. And you all talked about this.
Okay, Jake. A little bit like not letting her avoid the question here, because that's what she was doing. She was deflecting.
When we were marking the 1 year anniversary, right, of the war in Ukraine, the unprovoked war by Russia, what did the president do? He went to Kyiv, and he was there with the alarms blaring in the back. And people were so impressed that he was able to be there and look strong and represent the American people in Kyiv in a war zone country. And
a war zone country. But was he actually in a war zone though? Let's keep it 100. A war zone country. What does that mean? Because I guarantee you, they're not sending Biden into any real war zone, right? They're not sending him anywhere close to a real war zone.
That's what you saw.
I'm not
right?
saying he's not able to walk.
But you're talking about his strength, right? You're talking about how he's looking right now.
He's 80.
That is,
I think like the average American male only lives to be 77 or something.
But here's the thing, Jake. People saw him and were.
He's about to expire, bro. That's what Jake is trying to say, without actually saying it. This man Biden's about to expire. Okay, like milk that's been sitting in the refrigerator for a month, right? At some point you got to throw it out. Okay, I'm just saying.
Impressed that he was able to do that he was able to be there and present the American people.
Oh, he was able to be there. I'm just saying, I mean, they can get old people to travel, right? I've seen old people in wheelchairs. They put them on the plane. They get them to point A to point B. His ability to travel doesn't say anything about his cognitive functions and whether or not he is physically and mentally up for the job. It says nothing about that whatsoever.
Look, the president says this all the time. Watch him, right? Watch him. And I've
They aren't watching him. That's what I'm saying. That's the 77% who are concerned.
Yeah, they'll watch him and saying that he's falling apart, right? That's what they're doing. They're watching him and saying that, oh, this man is decrepit. This guy has no clue what's going on. He's walking in the wrong direction, shaking hands with invisible people. I mean, he's making up stories, right? He's having delusions in public. Yeah, people are saying it. People are watching him. They're like, yo, this guy's too old.
No, but I've had conversations with some of your colleagues in the White House press corps when we travel abroad, how it is hard for us to keep up with this president who is constantly working every day to get things done and making sure that we are delivering for the American people. And I think that's what matters. I get it. I get what you're asking me, but the record matters too, Jake. What he's been able to do, no other president has been able to do if you look at his legislative record.
What his handlers were able to do, right, which haven't been good things for this country. But again, you see that, you heard that, right? The American people think that Biden is too old. I'm consistent on this. I think any politician, GOP or Republican, I don't care who it is, at some point we got to have age limits. These guys are way too old, and we cannot have a country run by fossils, right? I mean, technology is advancing too fast. The problems of the world are getting too complex for us to have people who can't even function in office. And then we want to pretend like they're running stuff. They're not running anything. Mitch McConnell's handlers are running him, okay? Joe Biden's handlers are running him. Dianne Feinstein's handlers are running her. You saw her handlers were telling her how to vote, okay? I mean, again, we see what happens here. The country is not being ran by people that are being elected. But again, Democrats don't give a damn, right? They don't give a damn. It's vote blue no matter who, even if you don't know who the blue person is that you're voting for. Because you didn't vote for John Fetterman when you voted for him. You didn't vote for Dianne Feinstein when you voted for her. You voted for their handlers, right? I don't know what their handlers believe. Who knows? I'm just saying, this is shameful. It really is. But hey, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.